Most people think fulfillment is just pick, pack, and ship. But if you ever had a client walk away because their orders were late, you know it is everything. Today we are getting into what it actually takes to run error-free fulfillment at scale and why so many 3PLs operations are still leaving money and clients on the table. So welcome back to your bestie in freight. I'm your host Lida, and if you are new here, this is where we skip the fluff and talk real logistics, real operation, and real results. And today my bestie is Brynden King, VP of Sales and Business Development at FFE Solutions Group, a full-service 3PL out of Salt Lake City, specializing in fulfillment, kitting, custom packaging, and warehousing. Brynden, thank you so much for joining me and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, most companies think they have a shipping problem, but from what we have seen inside fulfillment operation every day, where does it actually go wrong?
Where we see the biggest things that go wrong is in the communication, not being communicated correctly, orders not shipping the correct days. The biggest breakdown I see is in the communication side between what is the expectations and then what is the actual deliverables you can provide.
That's so important, communication, right? Then tell me, let's go back about your experience. How did you get into logistics and the path that you became VP of Sales and Business Development?
Yeah, so when I started out at FFE Solutions Group, we were still a pretty new business. We started in 2016 in the fall. We started out as a hand assembly business. So we built that to scale, and I joined in and took over operations. Started out with about 15 crew members and built it out to about 70 crew, 70-man crew. Started the first couple years, we were doing anywhere between 100,000 to a couple 100,000, and then by the end of my 6-year journey of the hand assembly world, we were doing anywhere between 32 to 35 million kits a year for just some of these local bigger brands that we were doing. So that was kind of my side of the operations. So I got mentored by our two co-founders. One was born pretty much in a warehouse. His mom ran a warehouse. When he turned 14, he started working in a warehouse, and he built out a few other logistical companies here in Utah. And then the other co-founder, he was in commercial print for 30 years, and they had the relationship where one was doing all the printing for one of his clients, and then that same client was our other co-founder's client, where they were doing all the hand assembly. The 3PL he was at was getting out of the hand assembly business, and then so they got together and was like, hey, we can figure this out. And then yeah.
Yes, and the rest is history, right?
Yep, the rest is history.
So, what is the most expensive mistake a brand makes when they choose the wrong 3PL?
So on the brand side, really knowing what your freight costs are going to be and what they're telling you your pick pack is, because you can have an idea of what it's going to be, and if you don't build that into your margin on an order, it's going to be $1.50 and 25 cents, and if you don't have that always in the idea of that's what it's going to be, and then have the idea of know that fuel surcharge will be a big factor come into play, especially now. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, and you got to watch that for your margins to make sure that you're in your threshold you want to be.
Yeah. So FFE is built around error-free fulfillment, right? That's what you
Right.
advertise. So what does that actually mean in practice? Is it actually real? Because logistics is industries that sometimes errors happen.
Yeah, you can never be error free, especially when you start producing a ton of volume in the orders space. Last year, we ended our order accuracy and SLA accuracy at a 99.87%. So we're trying to be as close as we can to hit that mark. Most companies try to stay within like a 98% range of, so you have 2% room for error. We try to be less than a 0.1% if we can. So that's what we're striving for. Obviously, there's always going to be mistakes along the way, but with our automation and service, we try to really mitigate those chances of error that can occur.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for being so transparent
You're
because there
welcome.
is no such thing, not being, not doing any errors in logistics. So you guys are famous for kitting and custom packaging, right? That's one of the things that you are known for and you are respected for. So what's that actually built for, and what is the use case that people sleep on?
Yeah, so on the hand assembly side, it is a huge uh, advantage to us since we have that experience. There's not a lot of 3PLs that can manage it. It's one of those things where you can quote out a kit and you say, all right, we're going to charge you 50 cents to do it, when reality is you probably need 75 cents to do it, or you're going to have to reevaluate the operation. And it's, if you got to do a couple 100,000 of them, that time with your crew, you're not going to pay for your labor, and now you're losing money on the project. But you can't just say, all right, take it back. We're not going to do it anymore, because then now you're putting the client at risk, where they're like, okay, now I got to refine operation team that can handle it, and they got to re-go through that process, delays on their going into their retail space and to their clients, that it's a big hurdle for e-commerce brands to really partner with someone and being able to deliver on it.
That's interesting. So you guys have WMS with real-time dashboards, right? Integration with shopping carts and EDI. How much of your clients' problems are actually a visibility problem versus an execution problem?
Most of the time it's well, like I said, it goes to that communication. That delayed response is going to
Mhm.
be huge. They do have access to all the reports that they need, and so sometimes it's like a rush situation, or if it's kind of like an outside of the scope of what we do, it doesn't necessarily fall through the system. So we try our best to plug everything through the WMS system that they have access to, so that way they can just go in, look at their reports, see the operations. All right, I'm one particular order. We're looking for tracking on just this order, being able to put in your order number for it and pull up that tracking so they can provide it to their customers is really, really crucial.
So how do you help clients clean that up before it becomes a freight problem?
Yeah, so we have everything digitally tracked in our system. So as soon as the product arrives to our facility, we have a 24-hour SLA to get it received into the system, put in. And what our system does, will say, all right, it was received on this day at this time by this person, and then we can track any time that inventory was moved throughout the system. So that way we can say, all right, we're looking for a certain lot code that was sent from the last 4 months. It's great to have that digital time record where you can just type in, all right, looking for this lot. Here's the 800 orders that this lot was attached to. So being able to digitally track that, and then once it's, picked up by the carriers, that's when it's up to the carriers. If it was damaged in shipping, that's when you just communicate with the actual carriers and say, hey, this was damaged along the way, we need to get refunded, and that, and then it's a whole different process from there. But from our standpoint, it's making sure that everything is connected, everything's all together, so that way it, once it's our responsibility is done and taken care of, it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So you offer on-demand warehousing, right? Pay for what you use. How does that actually work for a brand growing through peak season?
Yeah, so one of the things, so boxes, envelopes, on the custom packaging side. So we'll buy all your boxes up front, so that way as a brand, you don't have to spend $10,000 on your envelopes that you're going to use throughout the next 2, 3 months, depending on what your rate is on a certain envelope or box. So that way it's okay. Now I get my order fee and then my box fee. So you don't have to pay a big chunk up front for your packaging where it's going to gradually take care of itself, but you can incorporate it into your margins of cost for for the client side. So that way, like I said, they don't have to buy a big bulk of product. It lets them allocate funds to other resources.
Yes, yes. So you have a lot of automations already. Where do you see AI changing fulfillment operation in the next 3, 5 years? And what is one thing 3PLs need to get right before they can even think about automation?
Um, what I really think they need to get right is kind of what their niche is in the industry, because you can go from dog food, you can go to the medical side, you can go to supplements, beauty, toys, uh, and that sort of thing. Or if you want to go into like the frozen foods section, and that it's just kind of finding where you want your niche to be. And then I think the most important is probably going to be on that communication side, the customer service, getting quick feedback when, hey, I need to get an order number. It's like, okay, just ask your AI agent and then it immediately plugs that back to them. Because a lot of the relationship after that is just, hey, letting you know we have product arriving, so that way it can just automatically put in the system, give them a report, and just kind of auto wave for that.
Yes. So if someone is listening and running a brand that's outgrown their current 3PL and they don't even know where to start, what is the one thing they should fix or look tomorrow?
Look at what type of partnership you really want to have. Are
Mm,
you really looking for a scale? So sometimes you are going to pay a little bit more for a nicer 3PL, but sometimes that may be what you need. And sometimes it's like if you're just looking for the cheapest option and try to just get it there, then it, I'm not saying it's always going to reflect the service, but it typically will. So as they're looking for to see if they can get any referrals from the brands that are currently with them. That's always a big thing for us. It's we try to refer our clients. So as we're looking to onboard clients, it's like, hey, here's some of the people that are currently working with us. Talk to them, ask them any questions you want. We're full on to transparency where it's like, okay, ask them what are the stuff you don't like about us? What's the stuff you do like about working with us? So to try to get as much information as you can from not just the 3PL, but the actual uh, other brands that are inside the 3PL, and to see if you can get that information from them and kind of see exactly how that partnership works out.
yes. So talking about partners, I want to mention my partner, Digital Permit Book. It is a smarter way to manage your tracking company. No more paperwork, no more permits chasing, no more last minute scrambles. Digital Permit Book keeps your fleet organized and your drivers moving. Check them out and tell them your bestie in freight sent you. It is digitalpermitsbook.com. And right then, I have a rapid fire question for you. Are you
Okay,
ready?
I'm ready.
Yes. First one metric every fulfillment operation should be obsessed with.
Your freight metric. So your package dimensions. How can you change your box to make it so you now fit into a smaller tier of packaging?
Okay. Biggest red flag when a brand is vetting a 3PL.
The number of years that they've been in service, I would say. You kind of want to see someone that's been in the service industry a little bit longer than a little bit newer.
Best tool or system you have added to the operation in the last year.
Ooh. I would say, I mean, we just added more meetings, and that's been a huge tool for us. It's not necessarily a tool, but to the system side is making all of our people inside the system communicating more and being more on the same page.
That's a good one. So, what do you wish more brands understood before they came to you?
That it's a partnership relationship. It's not just uh, a customer relationship. It's more on the partnership. We're here to make you guys better. We're here for you guys to win, and you guys are coming in. That makes us win. So it's more on that partnership level.
Yes. FFE stands for fast, fun, and easy. Which one do your clients feel most?
Uh, pr- Probably the fun aspect. I mean, it is fun working with us. I mean, oh, we're really trying to redefine what fun is. So, like, for us, fun is the problem solving aspect of this world. Like, it's fun being the guys on the back end. Like, I'm like a year-round Santa Claus. You get, hey, I want to buy this, you buy it, and then we're the guys that make sure that it gets there. So, it, that's the fun side of it.
Wait, right, and this was so good and so informative, exactly what this show is about. And if you want to connect with Bryden and FFE team, I will drop all the links in the show notes. If you are a brand looking for 3PL that actually delivers, go check them out. And if you love this episode, please subscribe, share it with someone in logistics who needs to hear it, and leave a review. It helps more than you know. Thank you, Bryden, for joining.
Thank you, Lida. Thank you.